Yo, YouTubers. This is Roller Coaster Ride. Coming to you live. No, I'm not on live actually. I uploaded the video before. I've got my levels as high as I can on this thing, and it's late at night. It's actually, well, so you know that this is not like pretending in another location or something. It's 28 minutes past 10 on the 18th of February 2019. And I posted a video earlier. Got blocked worldwide, folks. Got blocked worldwide. And it was only a short video. It wasn't like a big deal. But all it was, right, folks, it was, if you want to check it out for yourselves, what I was actually trying to show, I'm sure I can talk about it without them blocking me, like. But it was the, the opening theme music to the TV series Hercules that used to be on television, the American television series. It was that basically, and there's a bit in it where you see, like, check it out, it's on YouTube, just put in Hercules opening theme or opening music or opening titles, Hercules, the television series, and you see this woman and she's like half snake, half woman. And then you see something about Hera, they're supposed to be the wife of Zeus, and you see these like hypnotic eyes on the screen. And basically, I was trying to point out the way, in the actual context of speech, it says, Hera, the all-powerful queen of the gods. I mean, the nonsense that's wrapped up in it. There's like eyeballs on the screen, like hypnotic and stuff, like. And it was just that basically. I was just pointing that out, right? So it got blocked worldwide anyway because of the clip from Hercules. I mean, it's on YouTube in the first place. I don't get it. I don't get the way it works. It's these blocks and things like. Well, I don't normally have any problem with copyright material, to be honest, apart from when I'm doing my cover version. So that aside, now I only got a couple of views, about a few views. Watched me the last upload about the dragons thing, the drag queens and dragons and stuff, right? Quite controversial, methinks. But it's basically leading to other things about femme fatales and the way, henpecked men and these elements of, I think I think the Vatican's got all kinds of things going on, you know what I mean, to control families, if you know what I mean. So, to control families. So anyway, I thought I'd do a kind of neutral speech now. One of me, I tell you the story speech, right? What? And basically, this sort of ties in, right? When I'm talking about, I mean, I don't know if anyone's noticed, cats, the creatures, cats. I was watching a couple of videos, some people, Bible teachers and Bible studies and that, like, and I noticed that a lot of people have got this thing where they think that all cats are bad, you know what I mean, right? And I just wanted to clarify that when I talk about the Catholic religion and all that, like, right, it's got nothing to do with Catholic people, folks. I mean, the more people who just ditch the religions and kind of think for themselves, the better, in my opinion, whatever it is, really, you know what I mean? I think all the religions are dodgy, you know what I mean? What you want to do should come from within, shouldn't it? As long as you acknowledge things and that, like, there's no golden rules, really. It's only for ministers and stuff. But I want people to know that, I mean, I've had 2 pet cats, right? I've had 2 of them, like, and I've got nothing against cats. I've always loved cats and dogs, right? I'm kind of neutral on that one. And there's always been this warfare between cats and dogs, hasn't there? There's even like one of those Disney cartoon things where there's cats and dogs animated kind of thing acting and that, like, and they're always seen as pitting against each other, isn't it? Like Catholics are cats, right? In the world of in the religious divide, the sectarian war kind of thing that used to exist. I don't think it does anymore, really. I think it's going to slow down and stop eventually. But Protestants were seen as dogs, and we say proddy dogs and Catholic cats, right? So that's where the friction comes from, the strange friction between the two sides, as this cats and dogs element, right? Now we know cats and dogs out in the street and all that, they usually chase, they usually chase cats, don't they, dogs, you know what I mean? And cats can actually defend themselves against some dogs, can't they? They can actually give it back, you know what I mean? Dogs can actually be shitting bricks, basically, as soon as a cat turns on them. But I've always, as a kid, I've always loved cats, right? I've always loved animals and stuff like that, right? And so I thought, I'm a Scorpio, right? My star sign Scorpio. I don't believe in all the actual, it's the position of your planets. It's the positioning of your planets when you're born that seems to have the effect on our lives or our character and all that. Like, I don't even think the star signs should be even attributed to any creatures or anything. I think it's ridiculous, because you look up the stars, like Orion's belt, for example, or Orion, the constellation of Orion. All them stars don't make this guy running, this like man running across the sky with a belt on. They're like, some of them are close and some of them are far, you know what I mean? But from our perspective, they all collide together. And the same goes with all the constellations, right? So let's get that one out of the way, you know what I mean? I think the planets, the position of our planets is definitely paramount, or affects the way we grow up. And we've got inner space in our eyeballs when we're born, you know what I mean? Whatever the universe around us consists of when we're born, it's in our eyeballs, and it's up to our parents to aim our eyeballs at everything that's like crucial instead of all the crap, right, on TV and stuff. And then there's the school teachers filling our heads with crap. All the problems start with blackboards and chalk in my generation, you know what I mean? Chalk on the board. 15 kids all in the same classroom, all learning the same thing at the same time. I don't think it's very productive, unless you're going along with the curriculum and that, like you become a soldier, you know what I mean? But to clarify things, that I'm not being anti-cat, right? Because there's all people that I've seen some things. I've seen people talking about the Bible and stuff, right? And there's a famous thing where it says, I saw an animal that resembles a leopard. Now, I've got my own fervent belief that that's talking about a hyena, right? I'm sure it's a hyena. It says resembling a leopard, right, folks? It doesn't say, and I saw a leopard. It doesn't say that, does it? And it says, and then there's this like freakish description of like the teeth of a bear, or the feet of a bear and the mouth of a lion. It's a hybrid animal of some kind. But it's got spots, obviously, and leopards have got spots, so have cheetahs. But hyenas, no one likes hyenas. There's nothing good to say about them whatsoever, is there? But I won't go into that now. That's another speech completely. That's about Rome. The statue of Rome, which looks like it's supposed to be a wolf. Wolves have got pointy ears, guys. You know what I mean? Wolves have got like pointy ears, right? Well, hyenas have got little round ears, haven't they? So if you look at the statue of Rome, the Romulus and Remus, I can't be bothered putting photos up at the moment, but I will in later speeches about that, right? But I'm just trying to clarify that I've always dug animals when I was a kid, right? And I won't go into it, but my first goldfish got murdered, basically, and that was something I was really excited about when I was a kid. And the disappointment of going downstairs and to feed your goldfish the first time you get one, and it's dead floating in the goldfish bowl. I won't go into that. I'll talk about that another time, right? Because I don't want people thinking I'm talking about them or whatever, right? But I always remember when I was a kid with cats, right? Here's another thing, right? Another mistaken thing that people talk about from the Bible. They say Satan goes around like a roaring lion, looking for who to devour next, right? Now, because of that, because the people who wrote the scriptures wrote, he goes about like a roaring lion, looking for who to devour next. It's a descriptive, folks. It's a parable or a metaphor. It's about the way a lion goes around looking for food, right? The way a lion searches because they're hungry and that's what they do, or looking for a wildebeest or a zebra or whatever it is, or pray God looking for a hyena to eat, right? That's just a natural instinct of eating food. I think lions serve a purpose in wildlife, to be honest, right, folks? it's just been grossly pumped up by various elements, hasn't it? Right. Now, remember the lions didn't touch Daniel, did they? When he was thrown in the pit of lions, they didn't touch him. An angel stopped them eating Daniel. So, obviously, there's something in lions, isn't there, with a bit of reserve, isn't there? If you know what I mean, right? And I'm like my star sign. I'm Leo rising, right, which is a lion descriptive, right? And I'm Scorpio, which is kind of like, it's just like a defense mechanism, isn't it, right? Now, I'm going to go into that later on when I do my femme fatale speech, right? But this is like, I'm trying to tell you. So are you with me so far? Lions in the Bible, it doesn't. God's not saying Satan is a lion. You know what I mean? He's saying the descriptive, the way Satan goes around trying to devour souls or messing people up is as though a lion would go around looking for food. You know what I mean? That's exactly what Satan does. It devours souls. It, whatever you want to call it, right? So we've got that straight, right? Now, a lot of people think when I defend or say anything about lions and stuff like that, they think that I'm comparing myself to them, or sort of like, oh yeah, does Bruce think he's a big like lion or something, like, you know what I mean? And it's not like that. I've had a few incidences when I was younger where I got jumped in a gang and stuff, and I got beat up by a gang, and I sort of like and ended up having to fight them and stuff like that, right? But no, I don't compare the family. It's like New York here, man. That's all you hear. But anyway, my story about like cats. This goes back a long time, right, folks? Whenever I was offered a cat when I was a kid, one of my friends offered me a puppy or a cat or a kitten, right? My mum didn't want any animals in the house. She just had this thing, because they're too much trouble, aren't they? You know what I mean? To look after and stuff like that, right? So I had a few incidences where I'd like be, screaming like in a tantrum because my mum wouldn't let me have a puppy or a kitten or whatever, right? And what I tended to do was, if I found any stray cats or dogs or birds or whatever, that were injured, I'd take them in and feed them if I could, right? But if I weren't allowed to take them home, I remember me and a friend, we actually used our pocket money to buy tins of cat food to look after this cat that was a stray cat, and we'd go and visit it, before we went to school, and made sure it had food and that and stuff like that. And the funny thing is with cats, right, is they pay you back. They pay the species of moggies, cats, felines, whatever you want to call them, right? They pay you back. They actually pay you back right? And likewise, if you're cruel to a cat, if you're bad to a cat, they pay you back. Trust me, they'll haunt you until you're dead, basically. Anyone who's actually sadistically cruel to any moggy, they probably know what I'm talking about, Won't go into any detail, but I did know someone who said something strange about what he did to a cat, and he was never happy, he was miserable until he passed on and that, like, right. So I've got no actual hatred towards cats. I actually like them. I think they serve a purpose, but you'll never take the predator out of them, right? Apart from when, there's a point in the Bible that says even the lion will eat grain, right? Now, my character, I was always a meat eater, like a kind of like carnivore. I didn't even want to eat vegetables when I was a kid. I couldn't even eat peas. Right, nowadays I'm like vegetarian, mainly vegetarian. I do eat meat from time to time, but it's not essential in my diet. So I eat vegetarian meals mainly, right? So, which is to me, that is a miracle in itself, honestly, but I did decide on those kinds of factors a long time ago because of certain things when I was a kid. It's another story, folks. It's a story about when I was in school and I was ordered to eat a school dinner when I didn't feel like eating it, right? So that's another story in the pipeline, right? Where I think, I don't know, it's like they were forcing us to be carnivores, basically, even in school. If we refused to eat things, they made us eat it, like. Right. So I've always had this urge to be like, I am a kind of veggie kind of person. Like, I wanted to eat muesli and noodles and things like that throughout the week, you know what I mean? Even on like Sunday dinner and things, but now I'm actually loving vegetables, sprouts, peas, broccoli, carrots, all these things I couldn't eat when I was younger. It's like a turning point. It's amazing, right? which I think is kind of like ties in with the prophecy that, you know, even the lion will eat grain. You know what I mean? It's something that's mind blowing. It's not something that's supposed to happen, really, is it? Right. So, but people wonder, right? They might think, whoa, does he think he's like a big brave lion or something, or you know that kind of cliche? Nah, I could be a. You could call me a pigeon. You know, in school, my nickname in school was Scrag, which is a scruffy pigeon. In you know, Liverpool or Birkenhead area, the Scouser type, you know, area. A scrag is those pigeons that are disgusting, you know, the ones that are like all rough and scruffy and they don't even look cool. Well, that was my nickname in school, Scrag. You know what I mean? You know, when they skit at you, like. So, I don't mind being a pigeon. You know what I mean? There's none of this like, I'm a brave lion kind of thing in my psyche. I love tigers as well. I love leopards. I love them, like, I love them animals. I always did, like, right. But obviously in the wild, they've got to, you know, if they eat a deer or whatever they do, that's the way the food, it's called the food chain. You learn about that in biology. I mean, it's like feeling sorry for a beetle if a pigeon eats it, or, you know, like a blackbird or something eats a beetle or a worm or something. It's like, oh, that poor beetle. You know, it gets a bit daft, doesn't it, right? But the reason I've got this thing about lions, right, folks, this is the story, like, you know, from when I was a child, right? This is a true story. Now, I've always had this thing, like when I was a kid, if I lost my temper or if I had, like, you know, if I was hard done to or jumped by gangs and stuff, I had this ability to fight people off, sort of thing, you know what I mean? Sometimes they got the better. If they booted me, you know, they grabbed me hair and booted me head in or something like that, you know, I've been beat up a few times, you know. But I had a tendency, if I lost my temper, right, if I really threw a wobbly, or went off the handle kind of thing, I could defend myself quite well, right? And this is like mistaken. People going like, might think, oh, does he think he's like a big roaring lion and all that kind of stuff? And no, it's nothing to do with that, right? I'll tell you the truth. I always wondered about it myself. I was like, what's this connection to lions in me that, like, you know, it took a while for me to register what it actually was. And it goes back, right, to when, I mean, when we're kids, right, when we're about 5, I'm not sure the age, I think it was either 5, 6 or 7 at the very latest, right? But this circus came to town, right, to Birkenhead, a circus, you know, like, you know, clowns, acrobats, whatever, you know, the circuses, right? And back then, you know, kids in Birkenhead, we're not used to seeing lions, are we, you know what I mean? It's just something we don't, you know, we maybe from a distance in the zoo or whatever, or I've been to Knowsley Safari Park or whatever, like, but this particular memory, like, I was only about 5. I'd have to ask my sister, to be honest, because she, you know, I've got an older sister and her memory's better than mine, and she took us to that circus, you know, when you know, the parents give us the money and say, you know, take him to the circus or whatever, like, I always remember the 3 of us, like, who were old enough to go to this circus, like, to watch the circus, which was crap as usual. Like most circuses, they're bloody crap, aren't they? And they treat the animals like, oh man, this circus was actually from Switzerland of all places. Well, it must have been, because on the caravans and on the vehicles they had CH, you know, the Swiss, you know, like if you're from Britain, you'll have a sticker on your car says GB for Great Britain, and so on, or D for Deutschland or whatever. But these are all the vehicles, all the vans and all the caravans and everything associated with this circus that was here in Birkenhead, just down the road from where I live. Right. And it was a big deal when the circus came to town. It was like, you know, if our mums and dads could give us the money. It took a while before they scraped the money together to give us the money to be able to go and see it, like. But while the circus was there, all the kids in town, we were all hanging around the circus, you know, like trying to, you know, peek into the big top and all that kind of stuff without paying, basically, you know. And I went round there one night, and it was like the actual circus was on, you know, they actually had a performance going on, right? But I was on my own this particular night. I was completely alone, and I must have only been 5. I don't know the actual age. Like I said, I'd have to ask my sister, right? But I always remember going right by the big top thing, right, and I could hear the music going. This is where we hadn't seen it yet. We hadn't been inside or seen the circus yet. You know what I mean? It was just, I was still hanging around thinking, and they were horrible people. They were supposed to be from Switzerland, right? And I remember, you know, if anyone caught you hanging around, they'd be like, get away. They were horrible. They had this weird nasty nature, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about all Swiss people, guys. I know there's good folks out there from Switzerland, you know what I mean? But there seems to be a mad connection, doesn't it? It's like cruelty in the Swiss, like, and I don't know what it is, like, you know what I mean? But I actually, when the big top was going on in full flow, the actual circus ceremony, you know, the show was on, you could hear people clapping and cheering and whatever, right? I just so happened to be standing outside, and you know the way they have a vehicle, like a big trailer with all the big cats in, right? I could hear them all inside this trailer, this like cage thing, but it was all fenced off kind of thing, so you couldn't see inside. But like above me head, I was actually standing right underneath the like a runway, like a tunnel made of cage, right, that went from where the big cats were stored, and they had this runway. When they received a signal, someone would open the gate, and they all run through this caged tunnel that went straight into the circus, into the big top, right, which obviously went into a fenced area where all the lions and tigers perform, you know. And there was lions, tigers, lionesses. I don't think there was any leopards or cheetahs or anything like that, but I think it was lions and tigers, basically, right. But, I mean, you got to think of this, I'm 54 now, guys, and this is going back at, like, when I was, like, 5, 6, 7. It had to be 7 at the very latest, I'm not too sure. I know I was only a kid anyway, right? But I heard the music going on, right? And then someone shouting in the, you know, like this woman cracking a whip going, shouting, Avante, or something like that, you know, one of the orders they give, like, you know what I mean? And I always remember, man, because I was standing right under the tunnel, right? You know, for me as a child, right? It's one of the best memories I ever had as a kid, like. But, like, just seeing this, like, tiger run past, you know, right above my head, you know what I mean? It was like looking up at a real tiger through, you know, it was like just a cage basically, so you could see everything basically, you know what I mean? Tiger, lion, lioness, all just running past, you know, like, it was just like a mind-blowing thing for me as a child. It was always stuck in my memory, right? But, you know, the way they're held captive, aren't they? They're like prisoners basically. They're all kind of like, well, it's cruel. They're treated like shit, basically, you know what I mean? If they don't perform or they don't do what they're told, they're normally in a flipping restaurant, aren't they? It's a couple of weeks later, like horses in horse racing, you know what I mean? But I remember hearing the woman cracking this whip kind of thing, and they're all running across, man, and I was just blown away. I was just thinking, whoa, tigers, lions, lionesses, this is amazing, right? But one of the lions, like a big lion with a mane kind of thing, yeah, he saw me and just stopped, right? He stopped on the bridge thing, right, and he was staring at me, and it was a bit intimidating. I thought he was looking at me thinking like, ooh, he'd be like a nice little munch, wouldn't he, you know what I mean? Because, you know, imagine a lion looking down, staring at you from above you. It was only about like 10 foot above my head, maybe 6, 7 foot, maybe, I don't know. It was just above my head, so it wasn't that far away from me, and it was just staring at me, man. It stopped. All the other creatures ran into the big top, like they're supposed to, you know, to get on with the act, right? And the woman, I could hear her, like, cracking the whip and shouting, because she knew that this lion hadn't, like, caught up with everything else, you know what I mean? But it was staring at me, man, just looking at me with this intense stare. I'll never forget it, like, because we were like that sort of thing. You know, it's up there and I'm there. I'm like a little sprog just looking up at this lion, like, oh, because it was like looking at me, like, right. And you know the film with the film about the Doors, where Jim Morrison sees Indians and they've been beat up and they're being ransacked and searched and that, like, and he claims that an Indian chief looked at him in the eyes basically and gave him something as if to say, we're about to be killed here, or we're prisoners here, or we're captives here. So he threw something into Jim Morrison with eye contact. As you know, as far as I know, it's possible, you know what I mean? You can throw your soul into someone if you think you're in danger, you know what I mean? But this lion, that's what it did to me, right? And from the moment I just felt it, I actually felt like it threw something into me, like I felt like the soul of the animal going into my body, basically, you know what I mean? Like this flush, like I felt like an empty milk bottle being filled up with water, basically, go, and I was like still staring at it, like, like this, you know what I mean? Like, because I was blown away that it was staring at me, you know what I mean? And then the woman obviously persisted, shouting something, cracking up, you know, going mad, and that, you know, the dominatrix woman with the whip, like, you know. And it eventually, and I sort of looked into the direction it's going to go, and it looked at me again, and it just went, and then it ran in. It had no choice. It had to go in and do its performance, you know, jumping through hoops or whatever, right? But from that moment on, right, folks, I don't care what anyone says, I was basically walking around with the spirit of a lion in me, like, basically, and I couldn't really nail it, you know what I mean? But I was probably killed, or I probably died soon after, I don't know. Right. So, you know, it's got nothing to do with me going around thinking I'm hard, or I genuinely was given the spirit of a lion as a child by a big lion, you know what I mean? It was like a captive, it was like a prisoner, basically, you know what I mean? So it goes back to that, and I've always had this thing, I mean, oh man, every cat I used to have contact with, you know, when I was a kid, and I went to someone else's house and they had cats, and I'd be like made up with it, you know what I mean? And I actually used to go, yeah, I'll do the noise of, I used to do that to the cats, right? And, you know, I remember my mate's mum going, are you parent of that cat there, Bruce? And I was only a sprog, you know what I mean? She's like, that's bloody mad, isn't it? You actually parent of that cat. And the cats would pair back to me, you know, like talk to me and stuff, like Dr. Doolittle, like. But I'm not sure if that was after the lion or before, you know, I'm not. Right. But they were horrible people, that Swiss circus, right? And you know, when the circus went, when it left town, I'm not kidding you folks, there were jawbones, bones, rib cages, all these bits of animals that they must have slaughtered so they didn't have to take with them, you know. And another story from that circus to prove that they were like horrible people, right? When they first arrived in town, this little kid, he was in the caravan, he was one of the, you know, the circus people's kids. I don't even know whether he was a boy or a girl, to be honest, like, you know what I mean? You know, when you see a kid, you can't tell the difference whether they're a boy or a girl. But this kid was standing in front of us, my brother was there, my brother remembers it, like, we were all just talking to him, going, where are you from? You know, none of us were bullying him, we weren't actually picking on him or anything like that, you know what I mean? It wasn't like we were being cruel or anything like. And he had, you know, the way circus people, they used to hold in a whip or a stick or a symbol of authority, you know, like cruelty, or, you know. This kid standing there with a piece of bamboo stick, you know, like I don't know, like, you know, like a stick made of bamboo. He's holding a stick like that, and all we're doing is saying to him, like, where he is from, how long have you been doing this? And he didn't say a word, he didn't answer any of our questions, right? And he's just looking at us with this mad look, like a lunatic, like, right. And then he just looks at me, you know, of all the kids, there was about 5 of us standing there asking him questions, and of all the kids, he looks at me and he goes, whack, and whacks me on the head with the stick, man, and I mean like a proper whack on the head, like he hit me right in the forehead with this stick, man, you know what I mean, and like whacked me on the head, and then he legged it into his caravan and locked the door, right? And I flipped out, I followed him to the caravan, and I was shouting on the window going, hey, you little bastard, come out here and do that again. Because we were about the same age, you know what I mean? But I've always had this thing about, you know, Swiss people being like a bit, I mean, they must have been so used to doing it to the animals, they do it to people as well, don't they, you know what I mean? But anyway, the reason I posted this mainly, I just want to like clarify this fact that, like, well, I've had 2 cats, right? I've had 2 pet cats, right? One of them was given to me, and it was a psychopath. It was used to, like, it was what you call a flat cat, when it's never left the building, you know what I mean? It's never left the building, like, and someone gave it to me, you know what I mean? And it was a nutcase, basically, but it was alright. Later on, someone gave me, this was late, that was the last cat I've owned, right? Which was quite a while back, like. But before that, I had this ginger tomcat which someone gave to me, which was a street cat. He still had his bollocks. He was naughty. He was the smelliest animal, period. I mean, I've looked after dogs, horses, cats, whatever yet, right? This cat was disgusting, mate. He just used to, you know, he never knew, when he had a dump, it was never solid. It was just like like diarrhea that stunk the entire house. He wouldn't have whatever I fed him good quality food, whatever, it was exactly the same no matter what. It was poo was like acid, like brown acid, like. But I ended up losing my temper with him, you know, because he was like naughty, and he was a street cat. And I flipped out with him. I went, you know, I lost my temper with him. I actually shouted at him. I said, if you don't stop winding me up, I'm going to nail you to that fucking wall. Pardon me French, like, but that's exactly what I said to him, right? And then I let him out that night, and he never came back. But that's another story, you know what I mean? He never actually returned back. He knew he'd done me head in, like, but he was a street cat, you know what I mean? But anyway, I fed him, I looked after him, you know what I mean? It's proof I'm not, like, biased or anything, like, you know. I mean, I love cats, you know what I mean? They're alright, like. But my mum never liked them. She never ever wanted a cat in the house. I don't know. Maybe a cat scratched her or something when she was a kid or something. I don't know. You know, some people have a phobia of them, like. But they've got a little bit of serpent in them as well, haven't they? You know, the eyes are like the split pupil kind of thing, like. You know, it's like if you look at the eye of a crocodile and the eye of a cat, they're basically the same, aren't they? You know, it's very similar. Right, so there's something in cats, yeah, there might be serpentine, yeah, right, but lions and tigers don't do that, do they? Their pupils stay circular, don't they, you know what I mean? I just think it's interesting, you know, but like, that's another speech. I've got a load of things to talk about in the future, like, but that's my story anyway, that's me mind-blowing. When I was a child, that's what a lion entered my body, and I swear it was in my body all my life, I'm telling you, and I don't even know. I went through a period where I was going to sleep in bed and that, and I'd see the eyes of a lion, and you know, even with my eyes closed, I couldn't get it out of my head, like, it was weird. It's like that film, The Ghost in the Darkness or something, you know, that film about the two lions. Really bizarre, like. But I think because it was a prisoner, it wanted me to help its soul escape from the circus. I think animals have got souls, you know. So that's my story anyway. That's my connection to lions anyway. I've always buzzed off them after that incident, like, because it was, I don't know, it was just far out for a child to see. I think, like, you know. But anyway, what we on now? 32 minutes. Wow, that's quite short, isn't it? I thought I'd been talking for over an hour here, man. But yeah, okay, so there's no bias there, guys. I'm not like being like, you know, oh, he likes cats, so he must be satanic or a witch or something like that. It's nothing to do with that, you know what I mean? I wish people stop this labelling routine. That's the problem with religion and stuff, when they all start getting this, what's the zealots, you know what I mean? And people should lighten up and realise when some of us are being through the mill already. Don't want to be dealing with all that stuff, you know. Been through my trials and that, like. So yeah, I think this lion has been with me throughout my entire life, you know what I mean? And I don't know whether it's still with me, I'm not too sure. Like, I know I go mad when I lose my temper, I can't really help myself. But I'm Leo rising though, you see, folks, you know what I mean? Scorpio with Leo rising, right? So which leads me to my next speech, which is going to be the femme fatale speech, right? About how a woman, I believe, literally took my self-defense mechanism system off me, and I was left vulnerable, basically left for dead, basically, so that anyone could take the piss out of me or run rings around me. Like, a bit like Samson having his hair cut, basically. Have you ever seen them? Tobacco called Samson. It's tobacco called Samson, and it's got a lion on it, hasn't it? You know what the connection is there, like. But anyway, I think I better get off because it's quite late here, you know what I mean? And I feel like a drink of beer, so I don't know. I feel like winding down, having a drink of beer. Oh, before I get off, right, folks. Massive buzz I'm getting. This is the latest discovery in the food world. I tried these before, you know, goji berries, like. Goji berries. Oh, I got a packet of these, the same size as that, right? Quite a big bag, right? I bought a packet of these the other day from the shop, right? For the first time. I've had them years ago from a health shop, and I just tried them once and thought, oh, they're alright, right? But this is what happened to me recently. I bought a packet of them goji berries, right? And I basically ate the whole packet. And then I went out tonight to the shops, and you know when I don't know if anyone out there has ever had an ecstasy or LSD or whatever. You know when you look at street lights and you're on a hallucinogen and everything looks dead bright and precise, and well, I was in the shops before, and all the car headlamps and everything all looked brighter and everything looked like I felt younger. Let's put it that way. I felt like I'd kind of gone back 10 years. My eyesight seemed amazing. And then I thought, when I got back to mine, I was thinking, why does everything look dead clear? And then I realised that it says in the health benefits of goji berries that it actually improves your vision, which is like, I've only ate one packet of them and it's already made my eyesight feel like amazing. Honestly, I can't believe it. So I went out before and bought like 3 bags of them, like goji berries. What's that? Oh. Oh. So that's my latest discovery, that, folks. Within 1 day or within 2 days, my eyesight improved. So that's a little tip. Obviously, you can find the details online and that, like health benefits of this and that, like. But anyway, I think I got off. I think I've explained my feline connection thing. And other matters, it depends on what people think of this speech, and I'll take it further. People want me to talk about my cat thing. I've got a lot of connections to cats, to be honest, like, but nothing demonic or satanic or witchcraft, you know what I mean? They love me, cats actually love me, you know what I mean? And another mad thing, you know, people say if a black cat crosses your path, you get bad luck. It's superstition, it's bullshit. I always have good blessings when a black cat crosses my path, or any cat for that matter, right? If you smash a mirror, you don't get 7 years bad luck. That's bullshit, right? If you walk under a ladder, you know, superstition. I remember walking under a ladder with an ex-girlfriend, yeah. She went round the ladder and I walked under it, right? And I was looking at her going, why did you walk around it there, like superstition kind of thing, spooking you out and that, like. And then I found £10 on the floor. Honestly, just yards up after I'd walked under the ladder, I found £10 on the floor. So superstition is usually, you know, invented, especially the smashing of mirrors, because mirrors are portals to the past, you know. You've got to smash mirrors. Don't smash them on the wall or whatever, like, take them out and put them in a skip or something and smash them like that, you know what I mean? But you don't get bad luck, you get good luck, because you're closing down a portal usually. But anyway, all that superstition stuff aside, and yeah, I love cats. I actually love them. I love dogs as well, obviously. You can clearly see that on my channel. There's loads of communication, you know, with dogs, like, but I'm in the middle, you know, that friction between both the animals, like, it's crazy. Okay, enough of that. Enough of me being a bore. Come and join Liverpool Football Club if you're from America, Canada, Australia. Join Liverpool Football Club. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm getting off. But thanks for watching. I've got some more stories on the way. I've got some brilliant stuff to talk about, actually, but because it's late and, you know, my room echoes like mad, I'm just talking about congenial stuff, you know. But yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, I'm a lion, man. I don't want telling lies or lying down. I mean, like, thanks for watching.